guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team at Mississippi Farm Bureau. Scott Berry joins us, head baseball coach at Southern Miss, and kind of an odd weekend for the Golden Eagles. They salvaged a game yesterday, and they have a big offensive day, getting one against Coastal Carolina, and that was after losing the first two on the weekend. Scott, I've joked with you in the past. I mean, you never want to lose a series. If you can only win one, I guess you want to win the one on getaway day. Maybe makes you feel a little bit better. There's also the idea that all of these conference games count the same, and avoiding being swept is a huge deal. Tell us about the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you can't express it enough. It's a huge deal, and that's what, after Saturday's loss, where they had won the series, that's certainly the top topic that we talked about, the importance and sense of urgency of coming out and being able to salvage one game and keep from getting swept. I mean, it's just devastating when that happens. We were able to do that, and you're right. I mean, if you're only going to win one, then certainly Sunday or the third one is the one to win, because it does at least give you a nice mood to put you traveling home to where you get back at the clubhouse at 2 a.m. So it would have been pretty tough had we lost that one there and getting in as late as we did.
So take us through game one. You jump out to an early lead, get some offense right out of the gate, and it stays that way until the third inning, and then they kind of get going offensively in the third and the fourth, and they have the big inning in the sixth. Felt like kind of an atypical performance from Tanner Hall. 3 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, and 7 walks, and to me that's the part that really stands out.
Yeah, he took a shot off the leg, Richard, there in the third inning, and he pitched through it. But even prior to that, he had 4 walks. He just wasn't commanding the zone. Coastal Carolina's, they're really good, and we saw that on synergy and everything that we scouted. They really lay off pitches out of the zone. They have strike zone awareness. They just don't get themselves out, and they do a tremendous job of extending at bats and just fouling pitches off. And when they get their pitch, a lot of times they don't miss it. And probably, to date, I mean, it's the best team that we have faced, particularly the offensive side. But, Tanner just wasn't what we have known to have Tanner on Friday night, in all honesty. And I'll tell you, we learned a quick lesson from Coastal Carolina. You don't want to get in a run race with them. Yeah. And because when they get out in front of you, it's hard to catch up with them.
And then on Saturday, I mean, you look up, you blink, and it's 13-0 after 2 innings, and that's almost impossible to come back from. I mean, your guys really kind of put things together and got it going after being in a big hole, but just not enough offense throughout the course, and couldn't put zeros up the rest of the way against them.
Yeah, I mean, we cut it, like you said, it was 13-0 after 2 innings, and they hit Billy Oldham around. He just didn't have enough stuff to get that quality of hitters out. And then the guys that we brought in behind them, we were just trying to bridge it and not use all our bullets and trying to save those to at least salvage one game on Sunday. But credit our offense in game 2. They came back and cut it to 13-7, but a ball that should have been caught, outfielder slipped in the outfield, which would have been the second out there in the 6th inning. And in all honesty, I think we get out of there with giving up no runs and we keep it at 13-7. But that one play where we didn't make the play created that momentum. Next thing you know, we give up 6 and in a hurry. I mean, they can really put runs across the plate in a hurry. And, so we got boat raced literally 20-7 in that one and had a sense of urgency on Sunday where you can't get swept, man. I mean, it's like you're on the ground and they're kicking you in the ribs and you either just sit there and just continue to take it, or you get up and do something about it. And that was the challenge right there. And, I honestly credit my wife. She sent me a quote that said, when your expectations are high and you fail to meet those, you don't lower your expectations. And, that was the message on Sunday to our team, to continue to keep those high expectations. And the best that we could do in this particular scenario of this series was to win that game. But, man, is it a huge game to win on the road against a really ranked, good team and avoiding a sweep.
And, Scott, when you want to see your guys fight back, going out and getting 4 runs in the top of the first on a day where you feel like you've got to win it. I mean, what a way to set the tone.
Yeah, Etzel. I mean, he gets his first home run of the year. And look, Richard, I don't know if you've ever been there before. That's the first time I've been to Coastal Carolina, but there's no dimensions on the outfield fence, and that's for a reason, because they don't want you to know how short that thing plays. And no lead is safe, especially with their hitters. And we jump out 4-0. You're feeling really good, and then the next thing you know, in the third inning, after Will Armistead has his first start on the weekend, who gives us 3 innings. He runs in some trouble there in the third, gives up 4 runs. You blink your eye, and it's a tie ball game. Of course, then they follow up with 3 in the fifth, and now you're in this run race again. But it was Reese Ewing's 2-run homer. They're down 7-4 in the sixth, top of the sixth, that he hits. That gets us back there 7-6, and the momentum starts to change. And then we get some quality innings out of Nico Mazza, 2 innings, who has normally been a starter on the weekend. We asked him to adopt a different role, and he does that. And then, of course, Justin Storm comes in there and gives us 2 1/3 shutout innings and gets the win. But it was the 5-run 8th inning that started with a Reese Ewing double, followed by a Tate Parker double, and then that tied the game. And then things just started taking off, and we hit them for 9 runs in the last 2 innings.
You brought up something that I wanted to ask you about. That's a beautiful facility. I mean, it's a gorgeous facility. Obviously, it plays very offensive, and that works to their strengths. But kind of looking at the attendance numbers, they were okay this weekend. Is there a reminder when you go to a place like that that's got such a great ballpark, and yet they don't really fill it up, just how great you've got it with your fans in Hattiesburg?
Oh, 100%. And trust me, that was part of the message to our team, too, how fortunate we are to be in Hattiesburg and Southern Miss and how we pack it, and to be in the state of Mississippi. We've talked about it. I mean, there's no greater state in college baseball than the state of Mississippi, and what they do and how they come out and support these universities and these programs. And you're right, a beautiful stadium. And even their coach, Gary, was disappointed after Friday's game that he really thought, a top 25 matchup, and that thing would be packed out. But it wasn't. But you know what? It would have been here in the state of Mississippi, I can assure you.
Yeah, there's no question. You got a busy week coming up. A couple of midweek games, Tulane and Louisiana Tech, and then you jump back into conference play. It feels like we've gotten to the point where it's like price of poker has gone up, and every game, not that every game doesn't always matter, but now you're to the point of the season where you're thinking about postseason and, hosting versus being on the road and chasing for a conference title. And it feels like all of these are just really, really important for your ball club.
Yeah, the mood swings as you get deeper in the season. Obviously, at the beginning, you're still trying to feel and find out who you are, and there's not that much pressure. Obviously, you're trying to win every game. But as you get deeper in the season, you're exactly right. Now these games, as you're trying to build this resume on missed opportunities or creating new opportunities for yourself for a committee down at the end to look at and say, hey, you're worthy of being one of the 64. You're right. Every game's important. And this is the toughest week that we're going to have to play in the amount of games, 5 and 6 days. So we just got back from New Orleans in the airport last night. We're going to turn around at 2 o'clock and head back to play Tulane, and then back home on Wednesday against Louisiana Tech before we take on Arkansas State this weekend in our Sun Belt series. So tough week ahead of us. And, honestly, we're 3-5 in midweek games. We haven't been real good in that area, and we need to find a way to turn that in our direction starting tomorrow.
Scott, lastly, only 30 seconds or so left. This has been a difficult stretch in terms of road games, but it turns in your favor. 3 of your final 4 conference series at home. That's a big deal, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I feel like as far as the teams and the road and everything's we've run that gauntlet. Not that anything's easy in front of us. It's all going to be hard, but certainly the travel and everything that goes into a baseball season and playing on the road, getting back late, and trying to do what we do, it all plays in it. So it'll be nice to be home for these last 3 out of 4 weekend series.
Wish you the best down the